And we are back with the Producer's Corner, joined by our guest tonight, Draydel, which is the engineer for Scott Storch and also a business manager. What's good, my brother?
What's up? What's up? What's poppin', y'all? What's good? What's chilling, man?
Oh, man, definitely, you know, first and foremost, a pleasure to have you on our show, taking time out of your schedule to join us, man. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you very much for having me. Thank you much for having me, for real.
No problem at all, man. So we're going to get a little bit into it, and then, you know, we're going to get over to the co-host as well. Tell us a little bit about the journey, you know, for pretty much how you started to how you got to where you are right now.
Man, it's been a long 12, 13 years, man. I first started as a DJ when I got my first pair of turntables when I was like 12, I think, before anybody even knew what turntables were. You know what I'm saying? I heard like scratching on the radio. And I asked my dad what that was, and he told me it was turntables. So I researched turntables and bought my first pair of turntables, didn't even know what records were, and I realized you need records to do that, so I was stealing my dad's records, scratching like the Beach Boys and Elvis Presley, and I just loved the sound of it. And then my boy told me about Fruity Loops, and I was like, man, that's the dumbest, gayest thing I ever heard. And I actually checked it out, and it was actually pretty cool. So I fucked with this shit called Fruity Loops, and started making beats like about a year after I got my turntables. And my beats weren't hitting that hard, so I was like, why my beats not hitting that hard, man? I hear all these beats and they slam, and my shit, like, you know, everywhere. So I realized you have to get into mixing, and, you know, the frequencies have to sound good. So then a year later after that, I got into engineering to kind of make my sound, you know, hit better. And then ever since then, I was doing all three. And then I got in touch with an artist, and I started managing people and got into the whole marketing side of it because of the image of the music business. And I just engulfed myself in the entire, you know, passion of the music industry altogether.
Yeah, that's what's up. And this is everything, you know, from the DJing to the production to even the marketing. Is that like, did you go to school for any of that, or is it just self-taught, just kind of trial and error?
I actually went to school at FSU for mechanical engineering. I wanted to, like, I guess you could, like, first I was like I'm a certified drafter, you know, I can build like buildings, I can do blueprints for architecture, you know, stuff like that. And then I was almost done. I was like in my fourth year, my senior year, and I realized that this isn't something that I want to do with my life. It's not, I don't picture myself waking up every day and going to the firm, you know, designing bridges and buildings, and that's, you know, that wasn't really my passion. So I was like, you know what, I'm not doing this. And then, you know, I just basically dropped out. And what gave me confidence to do so was I was in Tally, and T-Pain's from Tally. So Nappy Boy was over there, which is like right outside of Tallahassee where FSU is. And I guess somebody had came through the campus with flyers talking about a beat battle. And I had beats all day. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go see what's up. So I go over there. Whole bunch of different producers from FAMU and FSU and State College over there, and start playing my beats, just one after another, bomb, 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 smash it, smash, 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 smash. And it was Lil Boy, who at the time was T-Pain's tour DJ. I don't know if he still is or not, but he's like president of Nappy Boy DJs, whatever. He was flipping out. He was like, what? Yo, where you been at, man? Where you what? What is it crazy, man? He wanted to sign me right then and there, man. I was like, you know what? Let's take this slow. So I got a hold of my manager at the time. We met up, talked some numbers, whatever. It wasn't like anything official, but, you know what I'm saying? I was in there making beats for about 6 months. When it hit me that I didn't want to do the mechanical engineering no more, I was like, man, if T-Pain and his people want me, man, I could go back down to Miami and kill it. So I just dropped it and went back down to Miami and started working and managing the hip-hop department over at a place called Critical Recording Studios down in West Miami, right next to Hit Factory. And then, you know, started grinding.
Man, yeah, mad respect, man. And how, you know, what's maybe like one tip you would have for up-and-coming producers that, you know, that you really see from your perspective?
Man, I think the one thing that people don't understand is how much they are influenced by the media. And for me, as a producer, I can't even remember the last time I watched TV. I can't even remember the last time I listened to radio. I think I haven't listened to radio or watched TV in about damn near 7 years, 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Because whether you don't want to be influenced by what's around you or not, subconsciously, you are influenced by it, whether you want to or not. So if you listen to the radio and they're like, man, I ain't trying to do that, I'm trying to do this, whether you want to do that or not, you're still going to be influenced by what you listen to. So, just expand your horizon. Stop listening to the same old bullshit that's on radio right now, because that's not really what is going to pop off. You're not going to, it's a lot harder to pop off doing the same thing everybody else is doing right now than creating your own lane. So in order to create your own lane, you have to subconsciously influence your mental in order to get away from that and branch out of what everyone's doing right now. And in order to do that, you have to listen to different music. Everyone's listening to the same thing, creating the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Research your history. Listen to that funk, that soul. Even classical music back in the 40s and that ska and big band music. You know what I'm saying? Just, expand your horizon. I mean, I listen to ambient music, classical all day. Every time I turn on the radio, I'm on Mozart, Beethoven. You know what I'm saying? So, that's one of the key things that I would tell producers, stop being influenced by what's on radio right now, because that's not what's going to be popping in a year or two from now. You want to branch out.
Definitely, man. I find that, that's what's wrong with a lot of guys. We get guys online that, try to get music to us, and every once in a while, listen to it, and, that's what I hear a lot of. There's not a whole lot of that individual that's really standing out. It's far few in between. So, yeah, man, I
variation is very, very small.
About to pass it to Corey. Corey, go ahead, take the floor.
Yo, Draydel, man, I gotta commend you. I gotta commend you. First of all, I know he's talking back in the screen room. My man, he said you got two ways that people like to pronounce your name. I'm going with Draydel, but I have to commend you on dropping out of school that late, man. Being a guy who went to school, that's crazy, because that's the finish line. Fourth year is the finish line.
Yeah, exactly. Man, my parents were mad. For real.
Did they support you, though?
You got you got 2 semesters left. Why don't you just finish it, get your degree? And I'm like, what's the point? If I'm not going to use it, there's no backup plan. I don't believe in a backup plan. There is no plan B. It's only plan A. Plan B just gets in the way of plan A. You need to believe in yourself. You need to have the confidence that you are going to do what you say you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Plan B is just like a fallback. There is no fallback. This is what I'm doing, and if I fail, I'm living on the street straight up. You need to believe in your dream, and people don't have confidence in themselves.
Word.
Preach, man, preach.
Word.
Yeah, man, that's so dope, man. I definitely been the school route and done the wrong thing, so that touched my soul, man, when you said that, because I've done the same thing. So
I appreciate that, man.
Wanted to get into some questions regarding your learning process, which I think a lot of these guys are always curious about, is how people go about learning the techniques that they learn. Where did you get all your best tips from?
Man, my best tips were in the studio. Just being in the studio, practicing on honestly, man, I never went to school for engineering ever. And I work for one of the best doing it. It's all self-taught. Because you have some people who spend, $100,000 going to Full Sail, $25,000 going to SAE, thinking that they're going to learn, but what they're doing is just reading a book. They're learning by the book. And you aren't going to succeed in life reading a book. The way you succeed in life is experience, learning, wisdom, knowledge, understanding. And the only way to get through that is actually doing it, not reading a book. So I feel like the best way to learn and the avenue to get the best tips is to just do it. You know what I'm saying? People are so afraid to fail these days that they're afraid to even try, instead of actually stepping on and you can't be afraid to fail. You have to just do it and accept that failure is going to make you better. Failure breeds success. You know what I'm saying? Right. And people, they try to find avenues where they try and make themselves not fail, but you want to fail. That's the whole point. You know how many times Albert Einstein failed? How many times Thomas Jefferson failed? And then they hit that one that just shot them up to success, to make history. If they were afraid to fail, they would never even try it. And we'd be sitting here in the dark ages, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have progressed. But, if we do want to go to tips and stuff, as of lately, I found out this channel on YouTube. Shout out Dave Pensado, amazing mix engineer and producer. They have this show called Pensado's Place, and they bring on every kind of engineer you could possibly think of. It's strictly for engineers. They talk about different plugins, settings, parallel compressions, parallel EQs, new stuff that's coming on the market, stuff that's about to be on the market. They have this section called Into the Layer, where they go actually into the studio and open up these famous, very well-known records, Nicki Minaj, Trey Songz, Neo, and they go through what type of signal chains and what type of plugins they've used on these records. So I guess you can kind of get an idea if you do feel like you're lost or you feel like you don't have a basis or foundation to build upon.
I think I've heard of that before. It's been buzzing around my friends within the community who have been checking out these YouTube pages. I've not had enough time to check it out yet, but hearing you say that now, I think I'm motivated. All you need is 6 people to tell you, right? Ain't that I think that's how it goes. 6 people will tell you, and then you'll finally jump on it. So,
yeah.
dope. Wanted to ask you about drum techniques. In terms of, key plugins or key techniques to get those big beefy drums that you hear in hip hop. What do you think is your number one technique or plugin?
Technique, I don't really think it's a technique, but it's layering. You don't want to have just a single kick. You want to have maybe 3 kicks, because the key aspect to engineering, which is also in regards to and relates to production, obviously is separating frequencies. So since you're on the low end, like separating frequencies as a whole, generally in a song you want to split the highs, the mid-highs, the mids, the lows, the mid-lows, and everything, so they all have their certain section in the mix so you can hear everything. You want to do that with kicks as well. Except kicks, you have a low end. It's mainly low end. Maybe you might stop at, top end max, maybe 2K, but if you have a high, live kick, you want to have that, sheen of the actual kick itself, the plastic on it. It would go all the way to 10K or even 16K. But you want to just focus on the lows, which is anywhere from 250, 300, down to 30 hertz. And you want to separate those frequencies as well. You want to have one kick that has the sub in it, and every other kick not have sub. So you find one that's low, 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 and then drag some, put a low pass filter anywhere, from where you think the highs start being maybe 100, 90, 90 hertz. Get another kick that is hitting at 90 hertz. Drop the, put a high pass filter on it. Cut out the sub frequencies, because where you really get, the muddy sound is when you have phasing when it comes to the low ends. So if you have a couple of kicks and they're both hitting low, and then one of them is tuned at a different frequency than another one, you're going to have clashing. It's going to sound mad weird, like it's real muddy, huge, it's just going to sound weird. So you want to just separate those low frequencies into different sections, so when you put the kicks all together, they sound good.
Yeah, I like that. Trey and I were just talking about something like that. Definitely a good technique. Last question that I wanted to ask, and it's something that I've always been curious of. I've never been on this end of this, but in terms of mixing music, if you've never, ever touched an instrument or been a part of a musical project, how hard do you think it is to be an engineer? Is it possible? How do you feel about that, not ever being involved directly?
It's possible. You can be a good engineer and not know anything about music. That's all fine and dandy, but who's trying to be good? I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to be great. I'm trying to be amazing. I'm trying to be legendary. You know what I'm saying? You could be, you could skate by. You can make it without knowing, theory or scales, keys, tune. You could do it, yeah. But if you want to be great at what you do, you have to have some sort of, previous knowledge of music theory, of scales, of harmonies, keys. You have to know how it fits and what fits with what doesn't work with what. Because, you want to be able to take it to the next level. And if somebody comes in and is like, oh, maybe the singer can't do that key. Maybe that's not her comfortable key. She needs to go two half steps down or a whole step. You need to know what that means, how it relates to the entire track as a whole, and how to do it. And if you can't, then that just hindered you from finishing that project. and your name is everything. The only reason why I'm here, working with Scott Storch and the greatest people, doing it right now, is because of my name, is because of my reputation of how I work. I'm not just good. I take it above and beyond. I go above what people expect. They don't ask me to do it. I just do it. And one key is knowing music theory. Knowing the fifth scales and the circle of fifths and what fits with what in order to, expand your mind, to use your imagination and your creative abilities as a producer to take it to that next level where people didn't even imagine that you could do that. You're like, what? What did you do? That's crazy. And then they tell their boy about you, like, yo, I was fucking with his engineer, Draydel. Yo, he's crazy. Bro, check him out. Boom. And then word comes around, people talk, and then you end up where you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And if you're just a good engineer, you know how many good engineers are out there? There's a lot of good engineers, but there's not that many great engineers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to just be great at whatever you do, expand your mind in any possible way, even if you don't want to play, even if you don't want to be a producer, just study it. It's not going to hurt you. Not at all.
Right on, man. Preach. Yeah, man. Great advice. I hope people taking notes. Trey, man. What you got for Draydel, man?
What's up? What's going on?
What's good?
All right, man. I just got a couple questions, everybody. I'm gonna get into the first one. Is gonna be about the type of gear. What type of gear are you using? What's your go-to?
My go-to for what exactly?
I would say, let's say, well, a lot of cats probably, let's say vocals first, and then we could say drums.
All right, vocals. I mean, right now, I really love Signal Chain. I got a C800 Sony with the analog preamp going to a Neve 1073 for the EQ and that warmth, to kind of give it that analog feel. And then from that going to a Tube Tech, and then the Tube Tech going into the interface. So, I mean, it really, it's not about, about what you have, it's just about how you use it. I mean, what you want to do is get a really good, clean sound from the jump. So when you start working on it, there's less work on your end. And I feel like the 1073 has a real good, crisp, warm, full-sounding, notion to it. And then when you go into the Tube Tech, it just gives it that bump, that compression that just, brings it up so you can hear every sound perfectly. Every syllable, every sibilance in the vocals. You can even hear them moving their tongue, no homo, on the track. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can hear every single little thing, and it gives you more to work with. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's what's up. Fresh. I'm sure some people writing it down got their ears plugged to the string right now. So that's what's up.
Yes, yes.
All right. I know, like I said, as an engineer, sometimes people ask us those kind of questions. So that was the only one I'm asking like that. Now I'm gonna get into some deeper stuff. All right. As a person that's been involved in the music industry for some time now, what do you feel is the current state of hip-hop? Do you think it's at a positive state?
Oh,
negative?
Man. I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to see. I grew up on that old school boom bap, that New York, East Coast. See, I'm an East Coast head. I mean, I fuck with the West Coast, but man, I'm Biggie, Nas, Premier all day. Mobb Deep. West Coast is, it's cool, but that wasn't really my thing. I'm more of a chilled, laid-back kind of dude. But as far as the how hip-hop is right now, man, it's not even, I don't even consider it hip-hop, man. I consider it rap, because it's not like, hip-hop is the culture, you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up, I used to do graffiti, my boys would break dance, I got into DJing, like, it was a whole, evanescence of it. It was the whole culture of hip-hop. Right now, there is no culture. It is all socially brought down, corny, bro. It's corny. Like, everything about it is just whack. Like, I'm sitting here trying to make these beats that everyone, is trying to do with the whole. I can't even do it. I can't even dumb myself down, lower my IQ enough to make those kind of beats. Like, I can't. And the amount of intelligence that's going behind these records is so minimalistic that I can't even comprehend how it's even able to maintain itself. You know what I mean? Because, man, just where it came from to where it is now, it's like, how did this even happen? Like, who said this is cool? You know?
Right. Like, how did this happen? Right.
Yeah, like, I'm just being, man, I can't even.
I'm with you on that one. All right, I got one more to throw at you, and then if I get another chance, I'll come back around. There are a lot of, I know, as far as I'm concerned, in the area that I live in, Louisiana, it's not a lot of people that are willing to take on apprenticeship when it comes to engineering. For a person like yourself coming up, how did you go about, besides, I know you did your work and everybody was like, well, who is this cat? Let's move on. But how did you get in the position? What did you do personally besides just being good? Because I tell people all the time, you can get into different places, but if your stuff is not good, it's just not good. So knowing that it was good, what was the next step after you was like, okay, my shit is on? What was the next step?
Man, I think it was just nonstop hustle. Like, first and foremost, I'm a hustler no matter what. You know, ever since the beginning of when I realized what selling and flipping was, you know, I mean, I never sold drugs. I'm not talking about that, but just any kind of way to make any kind of money possible to get what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that helped because a true hustler adapts to any situation. And when I realized that I wasn't just good, I was great. Because like the way just people would flip out, because you don't want people to be like, oh yeah, I fucks with that. That's cool. No, you want to be like, oh my God, this you? Hey yo, Rat, come over here. And they're like, yo, listen to this. And like, that's what you want. You want people to show other people like, yo, check this dude out. This is crazy. You know, you don't want to be good. You want to be amazing. So that really helped a lot because even though I might not have been hustling as hard as other people, when my music got into the right people's hands, the right people told the other right people, and it spread that way. But as far as what I did to get in the position, I mean, making phone call after phone call, looking on Craigslist, checking Google, like making phone call after phone call, following up, sending emails, you know what I'm saying, hitting the social media hard, you know what I'm saying, you know, balling on Instagram, Twitter, you know, just hitting up everybody, like, but not spamming. Spamming is the wrong thing to do. You know what I'm saying? You want to come at people correctly. You want to have respect, and you want to humble yourself. A lot of these people are like, yo, check out my beat, link. Nah, it ain't going to happen. Yo, check out my beat, link. Like, yo, you know how many people I block on Twitter for sending me shit? Like, yo, I just block people all day. Like, I don't give a fuck. And they think that someone is just going to randomly listen to their stuff. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Somebody might check it out, but on the grand scheme of things, that's not how, you know, people get famous. I mean, I was just calling and just making as many connections as possible, and finally when someone open the door for me, I'm not going to mention no names, but I was supposed to be working for, you know, another big producer who's doing, you know, sold millions and millions of records as well, and they told me that I was going to be an intern, and that the intern's duties is going to include cleaning the bathrooms, mopping the floors. Nah, I'm good. I have self-worth. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck who it is. Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, Kanye. No, I'm not cleaning nobody's bathrooms. I'm not mopping nobody's floors. You know, because I don't need. I'm gonna do this myself no matter what, and I don't need to lower my self-worth because of who they are. You know, you have to just know what your worth is, and then act accordingly. And a lot of people don't even understand their self-worth, yet act accordingly. They don't do either. So it's like, I don't know, man. People just don't understand. Like, they have to, there's a certain way to carry yourself, and people don't understand that that's key. That's like everything. You know, they think that if one person's going to hear their beats, like, oh, they're going to blow up, or, you know, they send, you know, let's say Young Thug puts out an email on Twitter, and people just send beats like you're going to blow up if he picks your beat. Like, you know, and the chance of him picking your beat is very, very slim. So you really have to broaden your chances, you know, by hitting a lot of different avenues. You know, go to open mic, hit the street, get business cards, get stickers. You know, be out there, try to hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, people say they do it or they think they do it, but they ain't really doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Staying in your mom's basement making beats all day ain't doing shit. Spamming links to people on Twitter ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Be out there. You know, really carry yourself as a business and not just a beat maker sitting out behind a computer.
Yeah,
Preach.
You got to get from behind the desk at some point. You know,
yes.
And I tell people that all the time. I've met a couple of artists who are real good, but they don't have the drive to really do the next step. So that was a good point. I hope they were listening. I hope they were too, man. I hope they were too. I get paid for this. No. Right. I got you, bro. We appreciate it.
No problem, man. Not at all.
Yes, sir. So, you have any type of shout-outs for, listeners, fans out there?
Yeah, man. I mean, of course, shout out to Scott Storch, my man. But we just signed Mario from back in the day. Not Omarion, not Mario Winans, but just Mario. He did Let Me Love You back in the day. He released an album in 2010, I think. We just finished up that album. And, woo, that shit is crazy, like, retarded. So, the single for that, featuring Rick Ross called Forever, that's going to be dropping probably in about 2 weeks or so. We got radio campaigns on that. And I think the album drops more so in December, late fourth quarter this year, maybe first quarter next year. So, be on the lookout for that. It's going to be retarded. Also, shout out my artist, Scenario. He's a pop singer-songwriter. We just dropped an album called Eden. And we're pushing the singles out right now, doing radio campaigns and dropping music videos. So, check out that. IamScenario.com, SENERIO.
Okay, word. And where can people follow you online?
Man, people can follow me on any social media. It's just Draydel, DRAYDEL, at Draydel, DJDraydel.com. Just Draydel.
Okay. Look, man, like I said, bro, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Anytime, you want to come on, you got a project coming out, feel free to holler at us, man.
For sure, man. I really appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. We're about to go down
I really appreciate you guys that there's certain people that have avenues to, give the information to the masses who really need it. You know what I'm saying? And I really respect y'all for that. So thank you very much. Because I never had this when I was coming up. You know what I'm saying? It was just me hitting keys on the keyboard with Fruity Loops. You know what I'm saying? So for you guys to create an avenue like this is really respectable. I really appreciate that as well.
Oh, man, we appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it. About to go to our next commercial break of the night. We'll be back with the Producer's Corner.
Chill.